Stephen Whyte. I'm the Vice President for Exploration and Production here in Brazil. Brazil's overall, it's a country where the exploration production business is a fairly young business, and therefore it's populated by people relatively new to the business, so it's very exciting and innovating from that point of view. In terms of the technology challenge, that's also substantial. We're going places where other people have not been able to go so far, deeper water, heavier oil, and lastly, operating in a fairly new country for exploration production where the sector's just opened up. We're fortunate enough to have a portfolio of development opportunities beyond that. The Phase 2, where we bring on another field for BC10, which is a very substantial project in its own right. The BS4 project, and in fact we're active with many exploration wells, both pre-salt and post-salt wells. Salt in a kilometre or more thickness acts like a prism for the sonic waves that constitute seismic, which means it's actually very hard to see through. And using the latest seismic techniques, Shell has ways of deciphering and correcting that prism effect so that we can see accurately where to drill for drilling the oil and gas in the pre-salt. Pre-salt is a large part of the Shell business globally. 10% of all our production comes from pre-salt. And whether it be from the very deep waters of the Gulf of Mexico, where we produce from fields under the salt layer there, or whether it be complicated carbonates we produce in Oman and have been for many tens of years, under a salt layer or even encapsulated in salt, or whether it be in the Groningen field, that's one of the world's biggest fields, gas fields in Holland, which also produces from under the salt, where we are able to get a very high recovery rate, 99% recovery factor. Then, all of those factors are things within the Shell world which shows that we really are pretty good at extracting the maximum value out of pre-salt type reservoirs. The challenges in Brazil are drilling through the thick salt layer. It comes in targeting wells on these very complex carbonate reservoirs so that we're able to actually hook up the bits of the fields that do produce and stay away from the bits that don't produce. A big part of the solution for any pre-salt field in Brazil is going to be what do you do with all the gas that comes with it. They're very high gas ratios. Then Shell is well positioned with its LNG and floating LNG technologies to be able to offer solutions on a global scale, fully integrated from production right through to sales and marketing. So all of these things brought together means that we should be able to offer a substantial contribution towards the development of the pre-salt in Brazil.